there we go. We're live. Sorry about that. We're good.
All right, going now?
Yes, going now. Going now.
All right, what's
All right.
going on, fellow park enthusiasts? This is the Park Geeks. We're back. This is Justin, Kurt, and Daniel. And Daniel has just returned from Southern California,
That's
where he got
right.
a chance to explore the various theme parks down there. Although you still have to visit Northern California and see the parks up there.
That is true. I got an excuse to go back up there. Absolutely.
So do I. I still need to go to Southern California myself. But anyway, tell us a little bit about your experiences out there.
Yeah, my trip was a 16-day trip. It visited 2 major cities in California. So I did 4 days in San Diego. While I was there, I just went whale watching. I went to the couple of the big zoos down there. I kind of dipped my toe in a little bit of SeaWorld Orlando, but I didn't really go on many rides. It was just kind of like, oh, it was part of the package. Just kind of sneak in, sneak out. I can kind of give my little bit of thoughts there if you guys want, but that was San Diego. Great town. Gotta visit the Hotel Coronado. Take a lot of great pictures. It was only pretty cold and rainy, like the last day I went. Otherwise, it was very beautiful. Then it was Anaheim, and Anaheim, the whole Disneyland trip was nice. Knott's Berry Farm, we'll get to that. And then the final week was spent in downtown LA. So just going around to just Hollywood, Santa Monica, taking some studio tours, checking out Hollywood in general, just visiting Beverly Hills, just driving around, getting to know the place. And yeah, it was a very good look into those 2 cities. Got to see pretty much almost everything I wanted to, and yeah, it was a great vacation spot.
Was the what was LA pretty close to the LA set that we have here at Universal Orlando?
I mean, I can see the inspirations of it, but as far as like how crowded and how crowded it was and like road quality and like it didn't really capture all of that. Plus, the general dryness. Like I got kind of half sick on that trip because it was so dry over there.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. Just not used
You're
to.
too used to humidity, huh?
Yeah. But it wasn't anything serious. Just like some sniffles, and just dry throat, but nothing that got me bedridden. It affected my mom way more, but she came through just fine.
So I recommend you don't go to Phoenix then.
Oh man. Well, I've survived.
That's dry.
Yeah, I survived somehow Moab, in Utah, and Vegas, but I'm not sure if I'll go back there again.
Yeah. Let's talk about the amusement parks. That's what we're here to talk about. Where do you want to start?
That is right. So actually, I'm going to try something. I'm going to go ahead. I'm hoping I don't get the error because I'm already streaming, but let me see if I can upload. There we go. And we are still live, so awesome. All right, so here we go. This is... Oh, I can see the problem from before because I got Discord Nitro. I think the quality is like way up and that kind of... Anyway, beyond that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I think I figured out the issue there because I just got Discord Nitro. But anyway, yes, Disney's California Adventure. So let me just kind of go through a bit of some pictures. So just going on in, got to see the Great Grizzly Peak here. And yeah, like first and foremost, I was actually pleasantly surprised how close everything was. It's just really cool. What's up?
That kind of looks like Pride Rock.
Kind
From
of
the Lion
From
King.
that angle, maybe.
Yeah. But of course, very first thing we did here, we did the e-ticket most famous attraction, Radiator Springs Racers. And I got lucky here, guys, because about an hour after I went on this thing, it was down for most of the day until like the last hour of the park. So it was crazy. Like we got there, the wait time, 115 minutes. And that was 25 minutes after opening. We got there, not a rope drop, but it's just everyone rushing their way towards there. And so my parents think we were cool. They're like, all right, screw that. We're doing the single rider line, which only took us about 25 minutes to get on there. And just the lane in general. So I did note some of my thoughts in the video, but basically, I love this ride. I think this is definitely, of the 2 similar parks between Test Track and this ride, this is definitely the superior ride. I just like the way it's themed. Like,
yeah, it definitely looks like Radiator Springs.
Yeah. And when you're on the ride, you don't see anything else. Like, you have all these rockwork around you. And the speed segment at the end is really cool. It's not just a straight shot. You have like hills and big turns, and
Oh, nice.
it's really, 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 really well done.
Yeah,
And
you actually race. It actually is a racing ride.
there's a winner and there's a loser.
Yeah, because two of the cars, for people who don't know, it's a single track ride throughout until you get to the end, and then the lane splits, and the two cars that were going through together go in parallel lanes, and you actually race, and the computer chooses an outcome randomly, for each time, so you don't know who's going to win ahead of time.
That's right. And my car won the first time, and we got on it again at night. So at night, it's still an awesome experience. Like the lighting on the rock work. I think I have some pictures of that later, but
Yeah.
actually I can probably jump to it maybe. Just want to make sure if I can.
Yeah, Radiator Springs is a really impressive ride. I think it's way up there in the immersion level. I love the fact that you start out outdoors, going through like the canyon kind of thing there, and then you head indoors for the other show portion of the ride.
There we go.
And then you're back outside again, for the finale race.
Yeah. So I lowered the resolution, so just everything, all the neon looks fantastic at night.
Yeah.
Yeah, not really the best photo, but you can kind of see how it's just well lit along the rock work.
Yeah.
So everything's fantastic. Stupid blurry pictures. I was taking these so fast. Even the sign looks good at night. Just look at that. Look at that. Look at that. That is beautiful.
Oh, that looks beautiful.
Yeah. The weakest part of that attraction is probably just the queue. Like, it's just pretty bare, but oh yeah, and that's Grizzly Peak at night. Really nice. But beyond that, highly recommend if you go out there. Like, this is definitely a must ride. Because it starts you off in like this whole dark ride section. So, like you see, like I'm not gonna spoil too much. It's basically you just see all the characters from the movie. They kind of greet you. You're doing some of the scenes from the movie that was kind of fun and family friendly, and you eventually get to the race. And there's even a part where it actually splits, where you can prep for the race in two different ways, and I found that to be pretty charming and really, really cool. All right, so
and one of the best things about the ride, it's not a screen-based ride. It's actual real sets, and they actually built full-size animatronics of the characters, the actual size, and they're actually there. They're not just on screens and all that nonsense you see on other rides. It's actually all real stuff. It's all practical effects, which I think makes it really nice.
Oh, cool. Now, isn't this that Spider-Man fighting attraction thing?
Yeah, but this is Avengers Campus, but is there anything else?
That's what it's called.
Yeah. Anything else you want to talk about from, I guess, Radiator Springs before we move on?
No, honestly, it just kind of looks like Galaxy's Edge done right.
Okay, so this is.
Did you ride Luigi's Ride? I forget what they call it these days.
No, I didn't get to ride it. I got to see it enough. Like, we just kind of people watched there. The wait wasn't really that long, but we just wanted to. We ended up doing everything in the park twice because it's that small, except for Grizzly Peak because we don't get wet again.
Right.
But yeah, like the lines weren't too bad. We used Genie Plus, and thankfully that system was not too hard to use. But again, I wish it was still the Fast Pass reservation system or the OG Fast Pass. But just for getting us on the rides quicker, especially for this one coming up, it helped us a lot. So this is Avengers Campus, and we just kind of went through the campus because we wanted to ride. This is our first Genie Plus option, which was Mission Breakground. So the reskin of Tower of Terror that we have here in Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always kind of thought that doing a Guardians of the Galaxy ride that's basically a free fall attraction, I didn't get it.
Mm-hmm. That's what I thought too.
Yeah, well, that's this kind of thing. You're going on a tour of the collector's collection, and you're in an elevator.
That's the collector,
right? And
say hi.
And you right. So there's an elevator scripted into it that you have to ride.
Now, I know Stan Lee is actually hidden somewhere in the queue.
Yeah, I didn't really find him here, but the queue was definitely very nice to look at. Although, personally, I prefer Tower of Terror's indoor queue. So
And
this,
Skippy.
yes, but this is the pre-show room, and it's pretty good because you see Rocket come out right there. So
Oh, that's cool.
fully animatronic Rocket, um, interacting with the guests, just telling you what's going on, what their latest scheme is to get everyone out of prison. And funnily enough, the premise of this whole riot is actually based off a cartoon that came out, I think, in 2015 to go along with this. So then you move into the equivalent boiler room there, and then I found a friend over here, Mr. Yeti.
No way!
Yes, I think that's the OG Yeti from Matterhorn. They just moved him here.
It is.
Just
Yeah, when they replaced the old one, they put him here.
Yep. That we'll talk about that when we get to Disneyland, but that was definitely a casualty because it was going under refurb when I went. So
Yeah. But shouldn't there be like smoke and strobe lights around him though?
No.
Yep, and then we get on the ride itself. So the ride itself, it's definitely more intense than Tower of Terror, surprisingly. Yes, there's more drops in there. They jiggle you around way more. But I kind of like the vibe, like just having the Guardian soundtrack going on, and you're just bouncing around, and you're seeing like different stuff. I just wish they kind of focused in on the scenes a little bit more, and they had something like the Tower of Terror Into the Twilight Zone scene, but they didn't have anything like that. But for what it is, it's a fun ride. My mom wasn't a big fan of it because it definitely made her feel her breakfast that morning. But yeah, and the airtime in this ride is actually surprisingly pretty high. Like, I think I felt my butt leaving my seat for a solid like 4 or 5 total seconds in that whole ride. It was nuts.
Yeah. My only complaint about that ride, I think, is too short.
It
It
is.
could be longer.
Yeah, because comparing, like, I know I haven't done that ride, but when I think of Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind, like, to me, like, that's a ride.
Yeah, that's a ride.
I want to go on that one.
Oh, you like, trust me, you'll love it. Kurt can confirm.
Good
one.
Good.
Yep. So the only thing that was also really uncanny with this ride, because we're supposed to be in outer space, but they still have that section where the doors open to the outside. You see like the outside world for a little bit. I think they do it for safety purposes, but it kind of does break the immersion there for a little bit. I don't know why, but do you know why, Kurt?
Well, we're not in space. We're just in the tower there.
Oh,
so
yeah, I guess you're right there. All right, so that's Guardians. By the time we got there, it was like posted wait 45 minutes, but we had Genie Plus, so it was like almost a walk on at that point.
Oh, good.
So then we handle this ride over here. So this is a cute dark ride.
Yeah.
Monsters Inc. Mike and Select to the rescue. This one we did not book a fast pass for. I mean, Genie Plus, Lightning Lane for, whatever. But the standby wait for this is about 40 minutes. So, not too bad, but I wish... I probably would have waited like 20, 25 for this ride instead, not 40, 45.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little long for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it just basically goes through the scenes of the movie. It's nothing too special. It's an okay dark ride.
Yeah.
Yeah, just it's for what it is. It's skippable, but if you get a chance to go on it, I mean, it's fun. I like Monsters Inc. So,
is it better than the laugh floor?
It's different. Well, it's a ride.
Yeah, it's hard to say.
It's a different kind of thing. It's not a show.
The laugh floor.
Yeah, because I personally just love the laugh floor. Just having the characters telling dad jokes and interacting with the crowd, I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I prefer laugh floor a little bit just because of the interactivity. Once you go on this, it's just kind of a one and done.
Mm-hmm.
I wish they did something different instead of rehashing a movie, but they just didn't for this ride. It's just the movie done differently.
Yeah. So this was originally, that ride was originally something else, right?
Oh, was this the infamous Superstar Limo?
Yes, it was. That was.
Oh, no way!
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that's one of the worst rides Disney ever created.
I remember that.
It lasted, I think, like what, less than a year, something like that.
I was there for a while.
Mm.
Yeah, I don't. I'd have to look up how long it was there, but it was there for a couple of years until until Disney decided that the California Adventure Park, that was kind of devoid of traditional Disney characters, wasn't really working out the way they wanted. So they started putting Disney characters in. This is one of the rides that got redone.
Yeah, and honestly, just based on footage I've seen, I'm glad they did. Give me something like this versus anything that resembles the glitz and glamour of Hollywood. And
yeah, it's kind of a nothing ride. It was kind of like, okay. It shows you the power of a reskin.
yes,
Right?
yes,
It's the same track, same ride system. All that's the same. They just changed the audio and changed the sets out, and
yeah.
it was a vast improvement compared to what it was.
Yep. So let's see. This is going through like the animation part. So they had, I think, cherry blossoms there. Pretty sure they're real. They were blooming, so that was cool.
But yeah, they're real.
And then I went to the Soarin' over here, Soarin' over California.
Is it different from the Soarin' that we have here?
Yes. Well, same ride system, but different film. Like, I think the California film did appear in Disney World for a little bit, and it eventually got replaced with a more updated World version.
So they're actually showing the Soaring Over California one there now.
Yeah.
Yeah, they took it out for a while. That's the original film. When they redid the Soaring ride for Epcot.
Mm-hmm.
They brought that film over here for a little while, but it looks like they switched it back again, which is good. It's nice there's something different between the parks.
I like the indoor key a little bit better. Like, it's cool seeing. I know, again, apologies for blurry picture, but it was cool seeing all the famous aviators on the wall and a bit of their history. Instead of like an airport terminal where you're playing trivia on the wall, it was cool just seeing actual history and honoring aviators of the past. Selfie.
Yeah, well, that's the theme. That the theme of this area is that building and the surrounding area was a test flight center in California.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of fits.
Yeah. So you've been on Soaring, so I'm not going to spend too much more time on here. Avengers Campus. So there's the signage right there. Took one here and also at night. So then we saw the what you call it, Stunamatronic for the first time here. So there's Spidey up there, flipping over boxes. Shows nothing special. It's very, very short.
Did he actually land the jump?
He did, actually. Yeah.
I still love that footage. It cracks me up so much.
Yeah, I think Can I have the video player here? I think I had it. I'm pretty sure, yeah, I can stream video here. There it is. So I can just swap windows, change the windows. There we go. Wait, do you see it? Do you see anything?
No. Not a move. No.
I thought it.
Just see it still.
Oh, that's why. Moves in TV. There we go. There it is.
So that's how it's supposed to look. Okay.
Yeah.
I will admit, it does look cool.
It looks really cool.
Yeah.
So I can't wait to see like what they would do with that technology. But I do hope they do more. Yeah.
Now this one's based off the Tom Holland Spider-Man, right?
Yep. And unfortunately, Tom Holland did leave the MCU, from what I heard. I just read something about that. So rip there.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's just go back to the main. So obviously, why am I back here? Because I'm here to ride the one ride here, Web Slingers.
Oh yeah, isn't it that weird like virtual reality? Screen-based ride.
Yes, it has that tech where you just basically do this the whole time.
Yeah, just
yep, and just like kind of mash everything. But it was actually very responsive. It surprised me how accurate and it felt. So actually, my parents were actually a very big fan of this ride. So we have this pre-show here. So the same Potter effects where you have the sets, then a hologram showing the actors there doing their thing.
mm-hmm.
God, it's freaking blurry pictures. So there's a loading bay, loading dock. So you seat 8 per car, 4 in front, 4 in the back. Um, and yeah, what they don't tell you is that there's actually secret techniques you can do. So you can actually flick, hold, and grab, and you can like fling explosive barrels or giant spider bots that will hit one another. So, I don't know. Like, I know a lot of people have ragged on this ride. I definitely want to call this an e-ticket, but for what it is, I enjoyed it. I think it might be a ride that's to be underrated. But I'm a gamer, so I'm a sucker for interactive attractions like this. Like I already told you, I already defend um, uh, Smuggler's Run at Galaxy's Edge, even though I know it's nothing that special. But to me, I like interactivity, so it's just more of the same. What are your thoughts, Kirk?
This is one I haven't ridden yet. This opened after my last visit before the
really?
pandemic. Yeah, I have not experienced this yet.
Yep, and there we go.
Are you do you have any hopes for it?
Yes. Oh,
I've heard mixed things about it, so I'm not really sure. So some people say it's good, some people say it's eh. So I don't know. Just
Fair
have
enough.
to experience it for myself sometime.
also got to show you one thing. I got this little magnet here, Mission Breakout. So, little cute.
Aha.
Yes. I don't know. Like I love the Guardians. I love Rocket Raccoon a lot. So
Mm-hmm.
there he goes, the Groot on the fridge. Good little purchase. I think it was $10. I still have the sticker here. Why? Anyway, so yeah, it was a pretty solid ride. I still wouldn't wait more than probably 35 minutes for it or so. Yeah, it's okay for what it is, but I do hope the future plan ride for it, the actual e-ticket, is something that will knock people's socks off. But I have my doubts. I have my serious doubts about it. Then we had lunch here at Pacific Wharf. There was a bakery in there that you could get like a small tour for, but they were closed for the day, so I didn't get to see that. So some street shows here. Just you'll see in the video. There were just a lot of percussion, dancing around.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it seems every park seems to have one of those.
Yeah, easy, cheap. Even Universal has them with the Beat Crew or the Beat something.
Yeah.
Beat builders.
Beat Builders, yeah.
I actually once called them the Tool Man group during a performance, and they went, "Oh look, the boss is here."
All right, so after that, after lunch at Pacific Wharf, we just brought our own food because we're cheap like that. We went here to Grizzly River Run. Very good place for shot, so we stood in front of the waterfall. I just love
Yeah, it's
how,
beautiful.
yeah, I love how they
Yes.
integrated the outdoor, so the rock work and all the natural trees, which I think are straight from, it's native California trees, I imagine, so it just fits in really well. And we wore ponchos because it was kind of chilly that day. A lot of photos. Yeah, just a big old bear up front. We didn't use
Now, isn't there? No, go ahead.
we didn't use lightning here, so it took us 15 minutes to get on. Really quick.
Now, isn't there like a roller coaster there that goes through like the circle of the Mickey Mouse logo?
Well, I'm getting there. I am getting there.
Okay.
But as far as this ride goes, it's a pretty solid raft ride.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it does jerk you around. It's got some nice drops in there. Some like when you go into the mouth of the bear, like you hear like a loud roar of the grizzly, and I think it was really cool. Some steam effects. You don't get as wet as you do on Popeyes. Popeyes is the king of raft rides, but this is pretty enjoyable. I like it.
It's getting you wet.
Yes. But certainly it was worth getting on.
Yeah, it's very well themed. It's a beautiful ride.
Yeah. So enough of that.
God, I love the scenery of these places.
Yes, Pixar Pier, which used to be I forget what it was called, like Sunshine Pier, was it?
Paradise Pier.
Paradise Pier, yeah. And there it is. So we have the gondolas, which does have the swinging one. I was trying to get on that to see how intense it was, but it was getting close to the end of the day. And I'm like, do I want to go on this, or do I want to ride in Credit Coaster twice? We rode in Credit Coaster twice. Yep. Oh yeah, that was.
Yeah, I've done the Ferris wheel. I've done both the stationary and the moving gondolas, and they're not for me. They're not very rough at all. They're kind of fun.
Mhm.
But you only basically go around once after they load, so it's a it takes them forever to load and
Yeah,
unload the ride. But then once they load it, you only make one revolution, then you're done.
that's yeah. Like the line was pretty full, and standby was like 45 minutes. They don't even offer a lightning lane. It's just you just wait.
Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, that's it's a cool looking ride. It's a fun idea, but it just doesn't have capacity.
Yep.
Mhm.
All right, so I will get to the Incredicoaster. So this is in Dole Whip by 8 with Blueberry. Little Mermaid, same exact ride as here in Orlando's Hollywood Studios.
Yeah.
This was cool.
Yeah. The only thing different about the two rides is the queue line.
Yep. The queue in Magic Kingdom is way better, by the way. Anyway, here, this was a little art display. So I think they took submissions from art students around California, and they just like made just little stations like representative of your favorite Disney property. So sketches. So anything you can find in an art classroom, they just made a whole set piece of it. So 3D printed stuff and just really well done. We took a ride on this. They have an actual cable car that goes through a good third of the park. Takes you from the front to Guardians pretty well.
Oh, reminds me of the cable cars in Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
I think they're a model after that, yeah.
Yes, I believe they are. Well, all of that is modeled after the original cars that used to exist in LA.
Yep, so some more family pictures, dinner stuff. At night. Okay, so let me take the moment to talk about the Incredicoaster and take a lot of pictures of it. The Incredicoaster, oh man, like my parents love web slingers, but Incredicoaster is probably my favorite ride at the park, bar none. Like it's just so fun. The soundtrack sells it. Like the way it's scored and the way it tells a story on the coaster that quick, it just works so well. And
Yeah.
it does the Incredibles good justice. The restraints are pretty comfy. Not the comfiest I've been on, but from how it launched to all the turns and all the coaster elements, it was relatively smooth. So it's actually very very long as well. I think each ride's like at least 2.5 minutes. So you get your ride's
Really?
worth. You get your ride's
Yeah,
worth there.
It's a fairly long ride. Got a loop in it, which is kind of cool. Disney doesn't do a whole lot of loops.
Mm-hmm.
I've noticed.
Yep, and even take you time. Like you'll go through a set of these covered hills. So if I can kind of go back, those anytime you go to the red tunnels here, it's a show scene. And if you go to this one over here, there's a lift hill right here because this is where Mrs. Incredible, Elastigirl, is trying to capture Jack Jack because the whole point of the ride is Jack Jack is going insane. You're trying to get him back in. And each of these scenes just show off one of the family trying to capture the baby.
But isn't like Dash like supposed to be like pushing the coaster?
Initially, yes. But you still see Dash and Father try and catch him like in these tunnels. So It's really cool. The way they designed this, the way this is rethemed, it easily the standout ride at the park for me. Well, obviously, beyond Radiator Springs Racers, this and Radiator Springs Racers, top tier, really really good.
Mm-hmm.
I can go on this ride all day. Like it's just didn't give me any headaches. It was pretty smooth. A lot of wind in your face. So when I was feeling that California dryness at like 7:30 at night, and I was like, oh god, it's only 55, but I feel like I'm freezing on this coaster. But yeah, it's fun.
I can tell you're from Florida.
Shamelessly a Floridian.
Yeah.
All right, so
A point of trivia about Little Mermaid, actually, I should point out. That's actually the second ride that was there. That wasn't originally the Little Mermaid. It wasn't built for that. That used to be, they tore it down, but it used to be a theater. And they showed a little movie, I think it's called The Spirit of California, which was hosted by Whoopi Goldberg.
oh really nice.
Whoopee.
Yeah, it was about innovation and creativity of people in California kind of thing.
Yeah. Very cool.
No
Very
wonder
cool.
they got rid of it.
Yeah, I think it was kind of boring. I think it was kind of boring, and I think that's kind of why it went.
Yeah, that's why I had to retheme Ellen's Energy Adventure because the original ride was so boring for a lot of people, and
Yeah,
it
it was
the
more
axe.
educational back then.
Yeah. So Avengers Campus that night. I got to see the Doctor Strange show. It was okay. The beginning effect is really cool, and then it just becomes, just magic tricks like, oh, like make this guy float, this ball disappear. Thor comes in, gives a nice cameo. A lot of roasting of DC Comics, so it was all good fun. Yeah, because someone's like, name me an Avenger, The Flash. Name me a real hero next time. And this Doctor Strange was fun. They do a good job. I just wish I think they do stay behind and do selfies. I just didn't really bother with that. All right, so that is it for. Oh wait, no, there's not. Did they take pictures of the show at the end? Oh no. But World of Color, I got to see the show. This was the only nighttime show I got to see at Disneyland. So I got to see a little bit of that, and just look at that. Like even with my range and limited camera, like I got a good view, and the show itself was just pretty well. Like it respect all the properties. You got some Marvel, some Star Wars, like classic Disney, modern Disney. It was all in here, and yeah, just even without pyrotechnic. Oh, there's pyro in the show, but there's no fireworks in the show. But the pyro was actually so intense. Like we looked up at the sky, and I think there was like a plume of smoke. Like it looked like a big donut up there because there was so much heat that came out. It was neat.
Yeah, it's a very good show. Other parks, I mean, even Universal Orlando uses some of the technology in their show, but nothing on the scale that Disney does at California Adventure. I mean, I've never seen one of this scale using that style of the fountains before.
Yeah.
And the show is great. It changes seasonally. There's a different Christmas show, which is fun. And sometimes I think there was like a villain show during Halloween and stuff. It's very nice. It's definitely the best of that type of show at a theme park, in my opinion.
Yeah, and
so did you go on the classic rides? Did you do the rockets?
Oh, did I do? No, I didn't do any of the flat rides. I just kind of people watched. Okay. I kind of just half forgot about them. One was down for maintenance, and that was the Symphony Swings, I think.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that was down. But the rest, the one I was interested in going on was probably just the Ferris wheel for the swinging gondolas. But yeah, just time of day. We had to make a decision. We just let's do Incredicoaster twice. And I'm glad we did.
I just mentioned because the rockets are kind of that's an old classic ride. I don't really know if there's any of those even around anymore. They used to be very common at amusement parks, but they kind of went away. And, Disney kind of brought that classic back. I'm kind of glad it's kind of there.
Mm-hmm. All right, so what do we have here? We have that. So that's it for DCA then. I was there from 8 in the morning to roughly 10 at night, dead tired, and we went up for Disney the next day. Oh God. So any more lingering thoughts or questions you have of DCA before I move on?
Were they running anything in the Hyperion Theater?
No, sadly not.
Oh, too bad. They've had some really good shows in there in the past.
I think they're waiting for summer to release something called Rogers the Musical, I want to say. Like Captain America, that Rogers.
Okay.
Yeah, so I have no idea what that is, but some people seem hyped about it.
Yeah, I haven't heard that either. But yeah, there's some excellent shows in there past days.
Justin, anything else from DCA?
Well, Kurt, how would you say this stacks up to Disneyland as well as just like, do you think it fits well within the Disney theme park world, we'll say stratosphere?
I think it fits. I mean, certainly it's changed quite a bit since they originally built it. I think it's improved for the most part, although I do kind of miss the Twilight Zone. It's had its ups and downs, I think.
Yeah, it's certainly a park you can easily do in one day. You can probably you probably don't have to buy Lightning Lane for it. The only thing you would need it for is probably for Radiator Springs Racers if you're not going to rope drop it. But beyond that, from when I went, yeah, not that bad. Not that bad of queues or crowds or anything. Disneyland, however, different story.
Yeah, let's go ahead and move on to Disneyland here.
Here we are, Disneyland.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Yeah.
the OG. The first major theme park here. Even though I know there's Knott's Berry Farm, and we'll get there. We'll get there.
Yeah, but this has been there since 1955, so it's a while.
Oh yeah, and I can definitely tell. So taking obviously our castle shot. So different castle. This is Sleeping Beauty's castle, not Cinderella's castle. Decked out.
Oh, I never knew that.
It's different. Yeah. We
Yeah,
went
every
through-
one of the Magic Kingdom parks has a different castle in it.
I never knew that.
and there you go. That's what's inside of it. Just a lot of dioramas showing off scenes from the movie.
Yeah, and that's actually relative. Well, not relatively. That was only added a couple decades ago. Was not originally there. That space that was up in there wasn't used for anything for a very long time.
Yep. So what we did, because we know how crazy rides can get, we just did all of the Fantasyland dark rides in the morning. So here, I got to take a classic because it used to be Magic Kingdom, just another peek at Snow White's Enchanted Adventure or Dark Adventures, whatever.
Scary Adventure.
Scary Adventures, yes. And oh god, like it's so hard to get a clear shot when you're moving in the ride. So I apologize for the blurriness, but yeah, I just did my best gathering a lot of interior shots. I love this effect in the ride where you see the evil queen, boom, boom,
Yeah,
turns around, absolutely.
simple but effective.
I like it, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so a lot of these dark rides, you can tell like it's got a lot of modern facelift because like the paint looks a lot brighter, and now it's also very apparent when I got to Indy that night how much brighter it looked compared to other effects I've seen in the park. But we'll get to Indy. We'll get to Indy. Here we go with Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, another forgotten ride here in Magic Kingdom before it was replaced with Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah. That's where to go.
God, these seats are so small. I felt so huge in
Yeah.
them. It's like, man, if I had a kid, he's barely gonna fit in next to me. Hey, look at that! Look at that, Justin.
Yeah.
That's like big enough to fit like just me.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, that's I mean, I'm overweight as well. But remember, these parks were designed back in the days when everybody was thin.
Yep. So yeah, family of three, no problem. Mother, dad, pop.
Yeah. Actually, probably right. That's probably was mom, dad, and the kid were probably used to all sitting there together.
Yep, and now it's just the parents can barely sit together.
Right. They have to go through stuff separately.
Yep. So what else did I do here?
I do want to point out, Mr. Toad's has always been my favorite Fantasyland ride, especially the one at Disneyland in particular. I think it was better than the one at Magic Kingdom.
It's so zany.
I like the fact that it was so tight and small space that you're going through.
Mm-hmm.
Everything was so close to you. I think really made a big difference, and it was just a fun ride.
Yeah. Plus the infamous.
I love the train. I love the oncoming train collision. I think that was just excellent.
Yeah, and what Disney can get away with, like being judged for reckless driving, drunk driving, and ending up in jail, sentenced to hell. I guess I don't know, but it was.
Well, you get killed in the train collision and go to hell.
Yeah. Yeah, hell with a pretty interesting dragon thing at the end that snorts like very humid air at you. But I'm like, oh, this feels like Florida now. Thank you.
I like that ride. I really like that ride.
The teacups. I didn't write the teacups, but you know, it's the teacups. It's outside.
We have our own down here anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, but notice notice they don't have to put a roof over it. Because California, it almost never rains in Southern California, so there's no roof. They don't need it.
Yeah.
That's what's kind of cool. Everything can be outdoors in Southern California. You don't have to worry about getting wet like 99% of the year.
I do like the whole foliage around it. Like it does look like straight from the movie with all the hedging and the outside and the lanterns. I think that's pretty neat.
Yeah.
So then we did Storybook Land boats. And Matterhorn, rip. Not this time.
Too bad. The world's first tubular steel track roller coaster.
Yes. I was very heartbroken. Oh,
Yeah.
funny story about the boats. It's just a bunch of dioramas. I didn't think my dad took a lot of pictures. But you can see a right through of it. When we got off, There was a boat that got stuck. Like those boats are so old that the motors sometimes stall out. So unfortunately, I had to take another boat out there and like manually get the guy back in. I just felt so bad for the people in the boat and the people still waiting in line for the boat to come back. So I'm like, whew, we avoided that. Have to get stuck out there in the water. That would have been bad. Ah, Space Mountain. Yes, Space freaking Mountain.
Yeah.
Now, is it any different from what we have down here?
It is
Yes.
completely different. 100%.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The only thing that's in common is they're both roller coasters indoors in the dark, and that's about where the similar. Well, it's a space theme, of course, but then the similarity ends.
Yeah.
Hmm.
This ride is
So
smooth.
these are 2 seats across. You know, Magic Kingdom is 1
And
single seat.
I can
Different
safely
track layout.
yes, I can safely say this is easily a superior version for multiple reasons. One, you don't
Yep.
have to sit in that annoying one by one row. You just sit side by side. Comfy enough for straight. It's not the most comfy seat I've been in, but it works. Two,
It's not a rough ride. So you don't. The restraint is just to keep it from standing up, basically.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, no decapitations allowed on this ride. um, the soundtrack easily helps make this way better because the musical score just sets the tone. Like it builds and builds and builds. You go up one lift hill, turn, you go up another lift hill, and then eventually when you get to the top, you see the galaxies above you shooting stars, and just great theming. And you don't hear much of the cling and the clang of the machinery as you go up as well, unlike
Right.
Disney World where you hear it and it's like, oh god, I kind of cringe at this still. But yeah, this ride was really good. My dad got a little headache from it because he didn't really eat that right that morning, plus exhaustion from yesterday. But this ride, I wanted to go on again. It's just we had so much else to see. We couldn't spare the time to keep riding this
Yeah,
ride.
it's an absolutely excellent. When they added the soundtrack, which didn't originally used to be there, it didn't have a soundtrack. It was really just like the one in Florida where you hear all the noises from the chains and the brakes and everything. But the soundtrack really improved it. The one that's there now, I believe, is the second soundtrack. They had one before that, and then there's a separate soundtrack when they do the Hyperspace Mountain overlay, which is absolutely excellent.
I saw a video of it. I wish I went on that one.
Yeah, is unbelievable. It's amazing how much you can achieve with just an overlay on that. It's just a few props and screens and lights that come on in the soundtrack. It's like a totally different ride,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like you're in a ship in a Star Wars movie. It's unbelievable how good that works.
Yeah. And we just don't have
Man,
that
you're
here.
making me jealous.
Oh yeah, like easily a must ride. Do the Space Mountain over there. You won't regret it. The famous
Yeah.
corn dog. There we go. So I had a video of it. Oh, that mustard's so good. Just a spicy.
Oh, I love a good corn dog.
It's the best corn I've had. Period. Like, even remembering like my time at carnivals and stuff, it was good. But then I have this, like the aftertaste, and plus how well the sauce and the corn dog mix together. It's delicious. Oh my goodness.
Ooh, you're making me hungry. I'm trying to lose weight. Don't do that.
Plus, glad to see some live performers there, even though they're becoming a rare breed at the parks. So, guy just playing piano. So then we went back to Tomorrowland, did Buzz Lightyear's. It's got a better control. Just because instead of pivoting on a handle, you're free to aim with your hand like Men in Black.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's much better.
way better.
Yeah, it is.
So you hold it there like Buzz, even though the Buzz animatronic was not working.
Oh, was he stuck?
He was stuck, yeah.
Not too bad.
So then we went on the Voyager here, so the submarine attraction. It used to be 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. For Finding Nemo, which was it's okay. I think I have a video for that, so you can kind of see what's up.
Well, it's much better than what was there before. I thought that was a good overlay, or a good retheme, I should say.
You think so? Yeah. I can kind of give you a little preview of this. Did it flip? There we go. So you're in this. You're just on a bench in the middle of the submarine, and you have this small window you look through. So they do a good job getting you immersed, and then you see, I think you see a live diver at one point, and just like, yeah, like some stuff like that move in the background, fish that come up from the movie, swim around and greet you.
I always like to wish there was like more rides where you got to go under the water, but it is so expensive to make such attractions, and like anything involving water is going to cost you so much money.
Yeah.
Very true. All right, so after that, oh, I have some pictures of that.
Yeah.
So you,
It's a unique ride, that's for sure. I think it's fun when the line's not too long.
oh, that's the guy who thought was a live diver. No, I think it's just a statue. All right, so then I went to Small World after that. Again,
Yeah,
just
that's
knocking out a lot of the classics. This is also the time where the parade was happening, so I didn't really get to see the parade. But I'm like, that's fine. I'm just here. I can view it later.
Yeah.
Um,
So that was the Small World ride that was at the 1964 World's Fair in New York City. That's the actual ride. Got shipped across the country twice because it was built, assembled, and tested in California at the Walt Disney Studios ahead of time. Then they packed it up on trucks and shipped it across the country to New York, put it back together. It sat there for 2 years for the World's Fair, and then it came back to California and
yep.
found a home at the park.
So for this version, it's I think a slightly different layout. I think.
Yeah, I think it's slightly different. I don't think the one at I think the Magic Kingdom one is not an exact clone.
You want to know a fun fact about this ride, Justin?
What's that?
Before, if you thought the original, if you think the song was boring and grating, before Mr. Disney, Walt Disney wanted every single track to have the national anthem of each respective country, and that would have been way worse. Because
that was the original concept. Yeah, as you go to different areas, each of the kids in each country were singing their national anthem.
But you can't soundproof one area from the next, so you're going to hear the scene ahead of you where you're trying to hear this scene, and it's going to be...
It's a cacophony, yeah.
A real torture chamber.
Yeah, and that's when Walt brought in the Sherman Brothers to figure out what to do about that.
Yep.
And they gave us the song we have today.
Yep.
According to what I've read, the "It's a Small World" is the most performed song in history. They claim.
Yep.
That's not something to brag about.
Also, the cool thing about this is in this version, there's actually dolls made from characters from Disney IP. So you got to see the White Rabbit and Alice.
Yeah.
You got to see Cinderella right here. The Europe area. Pinocchio just, hey, I'm from Italy right here. Popping out right here.
See, that would at least be better to look at.
Random projection back there.
Yeah. And I remember it was kind of silly when they years ago when they said they're going to add some Disney characters. Everybody went into all the Disney hardcore people went into a fit. Says, how dare you change your classic ride? You can't change it. It's got to be the same. We can never do anything. And then because they didn't understand, that they're only handling a couple, and they were doing it in the style of Mary Blair that did all the character design for the dolls.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like you're doing something straight out of the movie. It's made to fit the look of the ride, and they're pretty subtle. If you don't know they're there, you could miss them.
Yeah, like
so
that is
people got all worked up in a fit for nothing, because I think it enhances the ride myself.
Yeah, I like it.
I
like the homage. What's up?
Yeah, Kurt, you should know by now how much people get into a hissy fit. I mean, you tell them that they need to get rid of E.T. at Universal Studios Orlando.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Don't get rid of it. It's a classic. Like it's dated as hell, people.
Yeah, do something with it. But oh yeah, Lilo and Stitch. There you go.
Yes, this made me very happy.
Yeah.
I love this pair so much.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Very well done.
Yep. Of course, Finding Nemo right here. And Toy Story. Gotta get Woody and the gang. Yeah. So. Yeah.
Yep, I will do that ride if the line is not too long.
Yeah, we did Lightning Link for that, so it's just walk on. Otherwise, like a 30-minute wait. Then we did Alice in Wonderland. This is a unique dark ride here.
That's a unique one.
Yes,
because that was never copied at Disney World.
Nope, I'm not sure if it's copied in other parts of the world. It may be a Disneyland only thing.
As far as I know, yeah, it's not at Disneyland Paris, and I don't think it's any of the China parks or Japan either.
Yep. So it goes through the events of the movie. And there's this random just outdoor portion where you're just kind of sneaking with barely theming, and you go back in for one more scene where they wish you an unhappy birthday, and you're back at the front.
No, a happy unbirthday.
Happy unbirthday, thank you.
Right. It's your unbirthday. It's my unbirthday today.
Got it backwards. This scene was pretty cool though, just seeing all the card soldiers moving around. Again, hard to take still shots when you're moving at 3 miles an hour in there. Woo. Here's the outdoor section that just weird. You just sneak around. Nothing's going on here.
Oh, I like how that planet actually looks like the spades from the cards.
Oh yeah, it does. Yeah, right here.
Yeah, I think it goes outdoors because they can. It's California, so they can take a ride outdoors easy enough.
Then we went on the classic railroad around the park, so we got to see behind here, and got some great views. Tomorrowland. This surprised me. I did not expect to see dioramas and other things in the tunnels between. So
yeah,
they're just narrating, oh, this is the beautiful Grand Canyon, and here we are. We have the mountain lion come over here, and bask in its splendor and glory, and it's just beautiful in there.
Yeah,
it kind of makes me. Go ahead.
The dinosaurs. So that's also, those scenes are from the '64 World's Fair as well.
Really?
Yeah, it was on the Ford Magic Skyway ride. It wasn't a train ride. You actually rode in vehicles and real Ford cars that were bound onto a track.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they had a lot of dioramas and stuff you went by, and this is kind of where Walt and Roy Disney were kind of brilliant, because the sponsors of the ride paid for all that, and he got to keep it all at the end.
Nice.
So Ford paid for all that long ago, and Disney's been using it ever since '64.
Yeah. So it was good.
That's a really clever financial deal.
Yep. So it makes me wish the Magic Kingdom would have these cool scenes, but otherwise, just the cool music narration, and you're just looking at Florida foliage the whole time, and it's like, I miss that. Then I got to see Mr. Lincoln afterwards, so we stopped at Main Street. Some really cool pieces, figurines, White House, stuff that you can see from DC but placed here. So the show itself was pretty good. Like, they renovated the animatronic where Lincoln stands up in there, and it looks as sweet as ever. And obviously, love the speech. I can see why Walt Disney loved Mr. Lincoln. And they had like a Frederick Douglass temporary display, I think, here, in preparation of like the summer months.
Yeah, they usually have rotating displays out there in the lobby.
Yep. So finally, we went through all that to go to Adventureland, and start off with the Jungle Cruise here. Got to see some of the bazaar, and some parts of the ride here. A bit of a different layout. There was one area. Well, there's no indoor temple scene. There's one for one.
Right.
That's exclusive to Magic Kingdom. So there was a lot more elephants bathing, squirting at you. The camp over there, the lions in your thing. Yeah. Trader Sam's, but no. Did they have Trader Sam's at this version too before they took out the figurine? Shrunken Hand guy.
Yes. It wasn't Trader Sam. Well, no, it was Trader Sam.
Trader Sam, yeah.
Yeah.
They make that joke. Oh, 2 for 1 special. 2 heads for the price of yours. Something like that.
Right.
Yeah.
That's there. Yeah.
Then we went on Pirates. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, the best
classic.
pirate.
What a difference. I feel cheated.
For...
We're robbed here, man. We have been robbed of this full experience here in Florida.
Yeah.
He's starting to buy you, and you go through these caverns, and you don't have 1 drop. You have 2 drops in here. You get 2 drops.
That's the thing. The thing about the theme. This one, in Florida, you start in Adventureland, but in Disneyland, you start in New Orleans Square.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you've got the bayou and you got the restaurant there, because you're in New Orleans, so that's where you start, obviously.
Yeah.
Oh man, that sounds so much better.
It's
and
way
you go
better.
back, you back to the canals, and it starts going down through almost like a culvert kind of thing back behind them. And then there's a drop down into the subterranean area, which you don't get in Florida, which I think really sucks. You don't get the drop into the ride. It kind of takes you into the other world.
Yeah, yeah. You get one drop, but it takes you to the Spaniard coastal town. Here, you get 2 drops in the caverns, and then you eventually make a natural transition from the cavern to where the rest of the ride takes place. So the ride is missing like an entire half, and then when you get to the town, then the town is mostly the same. Not much different there. Yeah, but just look at this, like this great sets.
God, that looks amazing.
Yeah. Yep, and this is mostly the same. Yep. There she is again.
Both versions of the ride were updated after the movie came out.
Yep. So you see Jack Sparrow at the end.
Yeah, you see Jack Sparrow.
Yeah.
Barbossa is in there as well. On the
yeah,
first ship.
Isn't the treasure chest from the first movie actually on the ride?
They have. I don't know if it's the actual prop, but they have a version of the cursed treasure. Yes, is in the Disneyland version.
Yep, and then you have a very awkward lift hill back to the loading platform. So like, oh, are we having another drop? No, the ride's over. Oh.
Ah.
Yeah, it was cool. How often you get to go up a waterfall?
True. They had like this whole standout like thing at the end. Like you go past the treasure room and you have like the pirates fighting near explosives, and then you go up the lift hill, and that's it. Oh yeah, beignets, freaking delicious.
Oh, another thing about the Disneyland Pirates. It's actually got some of the figures that were in World of Motion at Epcot when they took down Epcot. They took a few of the figures, were brought over and added to the Disneyland ride. Rethemed a bit, of course. So the Disney doesn't throw anything away, it seems.
No, they brag about their archives and their vault. It's like, oh, we have like 10 million items here. It's crazy. We always get inspiration, and why is your content not inspired? Like, come on, guys.
Yeah, why do you keep doing a lot of subpar live-action remakes?
They'll end up in the archives too. And it's like, inspiration? No. So then we go to the other half of New Orleans Square, the Haunted Mansion. So
now, is there any difference between the two?
Not much. It's the loading is different. The loading area is different, and the exterior queue is different.
Well, yeah, the stretching room is different. In the sense that it's an actual elevator.
It is an actual elevator. You're right.
Yes.
So there's no illusion.
In Florida, you go in the room and it's the roof stretches, but in Disneyland, the roof goes up and the floor goes down. So you actually go down an actual elevator. The reason they did that is because you're right next to the railroad tracks, and they had to get you lower to go underneath the railroad tracks. So the stretching room, the elevator takes you down a floor,
right?
So you can go and just walk underneath the railroad tracks.
That's awesome.
The actual show building is actually behind the railroad tracks.
Yep, but I do like this queue. I like the whole outdoor feel instead of like the indoor queue.
Yes.
For the loading, I think
it's better.
This is definitely, I like the outdoor vibe of it, and I do have a little video of like the hallway in here that plays before you go on. Once I do a little flip. It's the same effect in Orlando, but I think it's a little bit different.
Yeah, so those portraits occur on the ride. In the Disneyland version, you walk past them.
I like that effect so much.
Oh, that's the mushroom effect. In the old days, that effect wasn't anywhere near that good. They modernized that like about 20 years ago.
Very, very cool. Yep, so that's that. Gonna swap on over. Change windows. Back to this. There we go. All right, so Haunted Mansion, yeah, not much else to say. My parents somehow, we all squeezed in the same dune buggy. That was a mistake. We somehow did it. But I'm like, yeah, no, never again. That was horribly uncomfortable.
Well, the other difference in the ride is the bride in the attic. At Disneyland is different.
Oh yeah, I think you're right. And you actually see the bride and the previous husbands.
Yeah, and she's kind of much more murderous in Disneyland than she is in Florida.
Yeah.
I mean, they actually kind of they don't really pull any punches that she's been murdering her husbands.
Oh
You
yeah.
know, the
Oh,
happiest
how
place on
lovely.
earth. It's the happiest place on earth. You have a ghost that's always been murdering her husband. Yay!
Yeah.
Let's take the kids.
Hatbox Ghost is really cool though. We got to see the effect a couple times. So very well done.
I want to point out another thing on your bucket list. You got to try to go to Disneyland during the fall when they're running the Haunted Mansion holiday overlay.
Oh man, yeah.
Oh, I've always heard about that.
Night Before
is
Christmas.
Excellent beyond belief. They did a superlative job on that. You think they might just slap a few things in there? No, they pulled out all the stops, all sorts of decorations, retheming, a totally different soundtrack that you listen to in the Doom Buggies, music, everything. It's unbelievable. It's like a whole different ride.
Mm-hmm.
It's just what you want to see. It's just what you would imagine if Jack Skellington showed up at the Haunted Mansion and added his special touch to the whole thing. It's just what you would expect it would be.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Needs to be experienced. Assuming you like the movie. I mean, if you don't like Nightmare Before Christmas, then yeah, obviously you can pass. But
All right.
great.
So briefly,
Ride.
Splash Mountain. I had the honor of riding this before it closed. So farewell to it.
Yeah.
I think it is a different layout. Not much different though. Well,
I think it's very. I think it's the same except for the boats, right?
yes, I
The
think
boats
some.
at Disneyland, you sit in a single row, not side by side, 2 by 2.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of that, but there's more room to fit than like other boats I had, like Dudley Do Right, that can get pretty cramped. Man, it was a good fun ride. I will definitely miss it. We'll see how Tiana's Bayou Adventure will go. At last,
Indiana Jones.
the ride I've been waiting for. The ride, I'm like, I had to look through my lightning lanes. I'm like, right, I have to plan this out. Oh shoot, plan it out right now because this lightning lane appeared at 9:30, so it took a while. Even though the wait is like 50 minutes, but with the way the queue was moving, I was like, no, that's probably like a 2-hour wait still. Like it was long, but we went in.
I'll bet.
But lightning lane through it, and yeah, like I did some history digging on the ride. That there was actually some really cool effects that happened during the queue. Like you can activate some traps in there,
Yeah.
to kind of spook. Like the ceiling would come closing down, like spikes come out of the ground, something like that.
That I never knew.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a few things you can do there. There's a pole. They got this big bamboo pole holding the roof of the crushing chamber up, and it has a sign on it that says "Do not touch." And of course, it's within reach. So what does everybody do? You go. I mean, you push on it, and if you push on it, sound effects go off, and the roof starts to lower down.
Yeah, but the theming of this queue, incredible.
Yeah, it is. It's an over the top queue line.
Yeah, like I didn't get to see the full, but it's like from what I've seen, especially this in the loading stations, just crazy. This detail everywhere, and the decipherable language you can, crack out your thing in line.
Yeah. So did you decipher any of them?
I should have. I forgot about like where to find the thing. Yeah. So.
To tell you, because remember when that ride was built, they didn't have fast passes, so you just had to stand in line. So they have all these messages all over the place. That's there to give you something to do, while you're standing in line for an hour to ride the ride.
Oh yeah.
All these messages.
No, but the way it was loading and the way how popular it was, because it was crowded at Disneyland on a Wednesday of all days. Yeah. This effect, this was something I found out after the fact, but the whole choose your path thing, is the very first thing you encounter, and there's like 3 different doors you can go into. Before the doors actually rotated to where you go, even though it's the same track, but here, I think they just like illuminate one thing.
Yeah.
And then that's it, like, because I think the effect broke.
They changed their mind. I don't remember why they changed that, but they did. Yeah, the doors, they used to move to give the effect that you're always going through a different one. So you have to be going to the left, right, or center one. Now you're always going through the center one, I think.
Yeah. But
even though they changed the projection on it to look like the other ones.
All right. So that's the last picture I have of Indy here. But this ride, man, highlight, winner, favorite ride of the park, easily.
Yeah.
Great length.
Remember, this is ride opened in the '90s, and you can think it's cool today. Imagine how cool this was in the '90s when there's nothing else like this.
Oh man, I would have been a hardcore Disney shill at that point. It's like nothing's gonna be Disney. Indy is like top tier. This is where it's at, man. Theme entertainment.
Yeah, there's one thing I do know about that ride, and that is when the boulder is actually supposedly rolling towards you. It's actually not like the whole room is actually shifting.
Yep.
Yeah. Where the tunnel is.
It's so convincing though. I love it.
Right. So you're supposed to be backing up in the Jeep because the boulder's running towards you because the Indy says back up, or something like that.
Yeah.
But the vehicles don't actually move backwards. They can't move backwards. They only move forward. So the room moves instead of you. Gives you the illusion you're backing up.
And the best thing about this, like, even though it's dark, you can see pretty much everything you need to see. The motions are way more intense than Dinosaur. And the main set, the main chamber room, is vast. You see a top floor, a second floor, the room over there. You see the literal goddess at the other side firing lasers at you. It is immense. It is crazy.
Yeah. It's unbelievable.
Like, I want more of this. Disney! More of this!
Yeah.
This is where Ride should go. Like, this is... I know Rise gets back to that mentality, but God, this is so good. Rise is tame compared to this.
Well, you think so? I think Rise is pretty cool in its own right.
Well, as far as, intensity, not like theming. Like, Rise of Resistance is great. Like, I enjoy the ride, but this is great.
Yeah, that's a ride that I really want to try. Like, I've seen so many highlights, I've seen photos and behind the scenes videos. It's like
it's got John Williams' soundtrack from the movie, queued up. And you hear all the major themes from the movie in there as you go through the action sequences and stuff, and it's just it's great.
It's so well paced. Like
it's the movie coming alive.
Yeah, you're an extra. Like you're stuck in this Jeep. You have Indy over there. He's scolding you. It's like trying to hold back the gates of doom, and it's I love this ride.
Now, there's one part in the ride where I know where you actually go over this rickety-ass bridge.
Yes.
What's beneath you? Is this supposed to be like lava or something?
Yeah, it's like a lava pit.
Mm-hmm.
What does it look like? I mean, for real.
They have there's like a smoke fog effect, and they have some lights underneath it, some red and yellow lights.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so they could have done better with the effects there, but it's convincing. Like the motions on that bridge, and then they have flames that come up when I forget what the goddess name is, but she's like shooting lasers at you.
I think it's Myra or something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, highlight day.
So another piece of trivia: did you know that the track layout in Indiana Jones is exactly the same track layout for the dinosaur ride in Animal Kingdom?
No way. It feels so different.
It's actually the exact same track layout.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. It's amazing. It's just a reskin.
I can't believe it. Like, there's so much time you spend in Darkness and Dinosaur, and like all these hairpin turns, like,
and they're all exactly the same as Indiana Jones.
Go figure.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it shows you how expensive it is to do the engineering.
Mm-hmm.
For the design of the track work and all the specifications you have to come up with to have it manufactured.
Yeah.
So it kind of makes sense to reuse that, right?
Yeah.
To change the track layout, you're probably talking a $2 million, right? To change the design of the track layout and respecify everything so the manufacturer can build it correctly. So okay, well let's just clone it and put different sets around it.
Yeah, like I like Dinosaur. Like it's a ride. I know it's inferior to Indy now, but like it's still fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, now that I've been spoiled by Indy, it's like it's never gonna be the same. Like I wish we had Indy here. It is.
Next time you ride Dinosaur, keep the track layout of Indy in your head of the scenes you saw, and you'll see it's the same track.
I'll have to keep it in mind. Maybe someone's done like a side by side comparison so we can see.
Yeah.
Anyway, Big Thunder. Let me wrap up Disneyland real quick.
Oh yeah.
Because I know we're over an hour, but yeah, Big Thunder.
Yeah.
The layout's a little bit different, but I actually like this ride version better than the Walt Disney World version.
Really?
Yes, it's more engaging.
Better.
The way it starts, the way it ends, the outdoor, like it just feels more in tune to the theming, and the climax of the ride is pretty good. And I feel like the turns, Even though it's probably the same speed, they feel tighter. But I rode it at night, so maybe that's just my mind playing tricks on me. But yeah, like I, it's not like much better, but it's certainly a step up from what we have here in Disney World. And they're both good rides.
Two big differences in Disneyland, because you can go underground and not reach water table right away like you can in Florida. There's actually a second drop, go through Coyote Canyon, so that drop doesn't exist in the Florida version.
Yeah, I did feel more drops in Disneyland.
Yeah, because you actually go below ground level, and in Florida that's really tough because you hit the water table right away. So in Florida you have the flooded village, is where the Coyote Canyon is at Disneyland.
Got it.
So the Coyote Canyon is really fun, particularly at night, because it's all totally dark. So you're diving down into this mine shaft at speed. You can't see the bottom, and there's a turn in there. It's just so much fun at night. The other big difference is the ending. They improved that. I think about 2 decades ago, somewhere around there. They put in the stuff that shows the dynamite and the fuses. Shows the fuses burning to the explosion.
That's
so
cool.
Because what happens is you come in and like a lantern gets knocked over,
right,
and it ignites the fuse while you're in there, and you see the fuse burning all the way up to where the kegs of dynamite are, and then they explode as you go through.
I do remember that now.
The lift. It's so
That
much
is
better.
so awesome.
I like it better than the collapsing cavern that we have here.
That was such a good improvement. It was unbelievable. I heard about that. And I said, okay, well, that sounds cool. Let me go see it. What it was like. It's so cool. It works so well.
So after that, we just hit up Galaxy's Edge because nothing else is open at that point, and we just did Smuggler's Run again because Rise was closed, and that was it. That was my trip to Disneyland. No nighttime show because they only do the fireworks on weekends. Rip. But that's okay.
Yeah, and you missed the Disneyland version of Fantasmic.
Again,
which I always liked better.
On weekends, and I found out it's like, Disney. Yeah. This is what I get for trying to save money.
So did you do other classic rides like Tiki Room?
Oh shoot, no, I missed something. No, I didn't check out the Tiki Room.
Too bad. That's the original version. I kind of like that one. I just like it because it's so classic and cliche.
Yeah, by that point I was like, we were starting to run out of light and time of the day, and it's like we wanted to get dinner and make sure we get everything else in because that was a long day and we started a little bit late. But overall, Disneyland was really good. The cast members, the food, like I can tell there's just a different shift and vibe there. When I'm writing things and I just feel the original intent, it's a difference. Like it's a more natural heart to it that it's just hard to explain when I ride these rides at Disneyland. And it's something I will miss every time I visit the Magic Kingdom here. But absolutely, for people who haven't gone, it is worth the trip. But
yeah, and there's
duly noted
because the park is physically smaller than the Magic Kingdom, and have everything so close together, it adds something to the atmosphere. I think it's all kind of snug. I guess I'm not sure how else to put it. Makes it kind of quaint, I think. So I think you said you brought your own food, so you didn't have a chance to try the food there at the park, huh?
Yeah, just way too crammed in. We just did a couple snacks, corn dog, beignets.
Yeah, that's fair. It's expensive. The downside is the food at Disney is expensive.
We just did.
But I will, I can't, as I told you before, I can't recommend the Blue Bayou or the adjacent place. I forget what they call it now, the New Orleans something or other cafe or whatever it is.
Yeah,
we did a Monte Cristo sandwich, some of the best in the world, I think.
Yeah, that's the one thing I forgot. It's like I wanted a Monte Cristo.
Yeah,
and I just
they're unbelievable. I mean, it's a kind of it's not a healthy meal by any stretch of the imagination.
Right.
I wouldn't eat more than like one a year. That's actually my limit because I used to go down to Disneyland either 3 or 4 times a year. But my limit, I'm not going to eat more than one Monte Cristo a year. That is just too unhealthy. I figure well, one a year isn't going to kill me. But
but hey, I went to a place called Paul's Place outside the park, and freaking best diner food I've had, and so good. So props to that place. But yeah, that was Disneyland. So glad I got to visit.
Knott's Berry Farm.
Let's do some Knott's Berry Farm over here. How about that?
Yeah,
alrighty.
One of the original unintentional amusement parks. I always like that subject. There's a lot of amusement parks around. Well, not a lot, but there's a number of amusement parks around the country that are unintentional amusement parks. The owners never intended to build an amusement park, and it kind of ended up that way. And this is one of the. I think this is the first one that ended up accidentally becoming an amusement park.
Yeah, and
Would you say Busch Gardens is another one?
Maybe, yeah. Yeah, Busch Gardens could be one.
Yeah. What do I do here? Oh yes.
Oh, what was that sweet roller coaster track?
I forget the name of it.
Oh, that's Silver Bullet.
Silver Bullet, yeah.
Yeah, it's an inverted B&M coaster, really nice.
Yeah, reminded me of Montu. But yeah, that was a fun coaster. I think yeah, low weights all day. Thankfully, it was a Friday. It was the weekend. Didn't have to wait a lot for anything. But yeah, it was actually all these decorations you see. It was actually the start of season, so it was only day 3 of season when it went. So that's why there wasn't a lot of people, and that's why I got cheap tickets. It was like $50 a ticket for the Boysenberry Festival.
Oh, sweet.
It was, yeah. Normally it's $80, but because it was, again, start of season, $50, and good price going in. So yeah, just us taking pictures. The first themed areas you come across outside of Fiesta Village is Ghost Town. And in Ghost Town, you have the famous Ghost Rider. Everyone told me that this was definitely going to be one coaster to kick my butt. And
did it?
Oh god, it was intense.
That's good.
I'm in there and I'm just like, where are the bank turns? Why am I being hit like here in my hips? Like, ow! Just being flung on every corner. But man, this is the ride that made my mom's like, I am retiring from wooden roller coasters forever. Thank you, Ghost Rider.
Oh no.
Yep, no more wooden roller coasters for me. Rip. But yeah, it is very intense. I like the ride. I would definitely go on again. I went on front row. So I think my parents went in the middle. And I'm sure the back row is, oof. If I thought the front was intense, oh man.
It's a good ride.
Yeah, it's pretty good. So going
now,
around
obviously, the theme to this looks to be the Old West. But is there much of a story there, Kurt? Because it looks like they're trying to imply one.
It started so it didn't intend to be a theme park. This is it started. It's hard to give the whole story here. It takes quite a while to tell it. But Mrs. Knott, Cordelia Knott, her fried chicken restaurant was started it. There's such a long line of people waiting to eat dinner at the chicken restaurant, and this is back a long time. This is like 100 years ago. So you couldn't make. There's no concept of making reservations and calling. That whole concept hadn't been invented yet. So you had to show up and you waited. Mm-hmm. And so all these people, hundreds of people would show up waiting to have dinner, literally hundreds of people. And so Walter said, well, gee, we got to give people something to do. So he started collecting these actual authentic Old West buildings and kind of made like a showcase, and that became Ghost Town. So these are actual buildings from the Wild West period that he collected mm-hmm. and kind of turned into like a living exhibit. And some of them are actually museums. There's a working blacksmith shop and all sorts of stuff. So yeah, it's kind of it's literally a Western ghost town. There's actually authentic ghost town buildings.
Hey, look, horse.
Okay, that's cool.
Stable. Yeah, so they had a little petting zoo in there. Yeah, the general.
I really gotta go to this place.
Market. Yeah, and it was my first time having boysenberry, so I had a tart, and then I had a piece of pie later, and yeah, I love that berry now. It's good. Yep. Did not know it was a California thing, but that's how the farm got started here.
Yeah, that's what Knott's Berry Farm was a boysenberry farm. He was looking for something unique to sell, and this other fellow, his name was Boysen, mm-hmm. invented is a cross between multiple, I think 3 different types of berries got crossed, and he made the boysenberry, Mr. Boysen, and Mr. Knott got that, got the seeds for that and grew it and started selling them.
Yep, so let me just give you a little snippet of that train that I just saw.
Uh-huh.
So, change the window.
Did you ride the train?
No.
Too bad. Because there's an experience on the train. It's not just a train ride.
Oh,
really?
Man.
Yeah. I don't want to give it away.
Yeah, don't. Yeah.
But there's actors. Live actors on the train.
Oh, okay. There was live actors talking to me as I'm walking through Ghost Town. They're all in character and they're fun to interact with.
Mm-hmm.
So even for something that's not supposed to be super themed, they do get into it.
Yeah, and during the summer months, I don't know if they're doing it every year, but they actually have an actual, I'm not really sure what you call it, but there's actually a lot of live actors and there's a scripted storyline that you can participate in.
Participate?
Yeah, so you can go up to talk to people and they'll give you they'll tell you about stuff and give you they can give you tasks to do and go learn stuff and talk, go ask this person this thing, and there's like a whole little kind of branching storyline thing you can participate in.
Very cool, very cool.
Yeah.
So this
They only do that during the really busy summer season when the lines get really long. This is like something else to do in the park. Calico Mine Ride, right?
Yes, I was going to talk about this ride. I did go on this
Yeah.
because I heard about this. I thought, oh, train ride, man, it can't be that special. Wrong was I, but that's fine. Yeah, so just very simple theming and very hard, uncomfortable benches.
Yeah.
But look at that. We go inside the mine itself, and it's just a history of how the miners went about their business. So you got to see operations in there, some animatronics, some minor explosions that happen in there. It's a really, really, really cool classic dark ride experience.
Very early dark ride. This is one of the original dark rides. It's really built back in the mid '60s, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, and there's a conductor that goes with you on the train. He didn't really talk much, but he was operating on the train
used
itself.
to. Yeah, they have the soundtrack is now pre-recorded, but the driver of the train used to be your narrator.
Oh,
No way.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just well lit. Animatronics. You go outside for a little bit. Sorry if I'm going quickly, but I'm just giving you a sense.
It's a fairly long ride too.
Yeah, it was about 8 minutes. 8-9 minutes, just
Yeah.
chilling. Unfortunately, this log from ride was undergoing maintenance, so I got, early season. It's bound to happen. Some rides to be closed.
Yeah, that's one of the rides I heard that the Imagineers looked at when they were designing Splash Mountain.
So that's how it looks like without the water.
Yeah, their flume ride is I think it's one of the first one has an elaborate indoor themed area section to it. It's not just go up the hill and go down and get wet.
Yeah.
Yeah, you go up the hill and then the boat loops around through a whole bunch of scenes inside the mountain, and then you have the last drop at the end.
Yeah, I definitely need to take a look at ride-through footage since I missed out on that. So this is one of the newest additions to the park. So this is another dark ride. It's basically Toy Story Midway Mania, but it has its own mythos. I don't know how this cute characters came together. I just figured, well, we're gonna have cute animals, and they try to steal the pie at this festival. So there's just me looking badass with my 3D glasses, getting a score.
Right.
In the car.
Yeah, it's a 3D shooting game ride thing.
Yeah.
It's another incarnation. They had a different version of it before they went back to these characters. These characters from long ago at the park.
So they have a history. Okay.
Yeah, they do. They brought him back for this ride. And this is the third version of the ride that's occupied that space.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And it smells like boysenberries in there the whole time. So the whole time, I'm hungry. I'm really hungry now. I want pie. I want to get fat over here. I'm on vacation, dang it. So after that, we went to the rafting ride here. And
Now, is it like your typical raft ride, like Popeyes?
Yeah.
Or is there something different about it?
It's minorly themed. It's just another chill ride. I prefer Grizzly River Run compared to this, but for what it is, it's pretty neat. And there's dynamite boxes on the side you can push down and get people wet. So it's nice.
Classic.
Little touch.
Yep.
So I rode Pony Express, just a small little launch coaster here. With, I kid you not, it's a similar restraint system as freaking Tron. Where you
Really?
it'll lean forward, it'll get the back of your legs, and ironically, that launch actually felt a little intense, more intense than I thought it would be. So I'm thinking, if that was that, how does Tron feel? Oh my goodness. I'm sure it's got to be a rush. I hope it is, because it's faster.
Oh.
So, Calico River Rapids, so great scenery. Great water.
Yeah, it looks beautiful.
Little pine.
The pie kitchen.
Just a replica of what kitchens look like in the Old West. Ghost Rider entrance. Love little rock work. The tart I ate, delicious. Look at that, Justin.
Oh, you're trying to put me in a diabetic coma.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, just.
Oh, that looks delicious.
It's
It would kill me.
So then I rode an actual horse stagecoach here. I was like, what? A stagecoach? And yeah, just riding around. It was pretty hot that day, so we just rode on the inside, but we actually got stuck halfway through. The horses, there's a hill they have to climb to go over, like a walkway, and they didn't go fast enough, so they had to like retread, and then they have to like pull them back up, and I felt really bad for the horses.
Oh dear.
Yeah. So another shot of the train here. Man, that's cool. I should have went on the train. Rip. Silver Bullet.
Go for next time.
Yeah, fun ride.
Silver Bullet's good.
Yep. So Wells Fargo. My mom used to work for Wells Fargo, so she was surprised to see a stagecoach here.
I currently bank with them, so.
There you go. Yep. So the kids area, Snoopy theme. I think that's like based on the. I don't know. Like it's a common IP you see at like some of the local parks.
Yeah, we saw them at California's Great America. They had some peanuts.
They're both Cedar Fair parks, and Cedar Fair has the exclusive license to use the characters in North America at the parks.
I wonder why are they here then? That's what I'm wondering.
What do you mean?
The Peanuts characters.
Well, because they have the license, they have the exclusive license.
Oh, but
yeah, they're gonna
use it.
Yeah, so any way they can.
Yeah, the Peanuts characters. Knott's Berry Farm used to be an independent family park. It was owned by Walter and Cordelia Knott, and they did a license agreement with Charles Schultz's company to license the Peanuts characters for the park. And they had I believe even back then they had the exclusive license for North America to use the characters in a theme park. And then Cedar Fair came along and bought Knott's Berry Farm, and I think they either inherited the license or they were able to renegotiate it so they could use it at all their parks in North America.
Yep.
So yeah, you only see the Peanuts characters at a Cedar Fair park in North America. It's the only place you can see them.
Right.
In theme parks. And they have a show seasonally. There's a show in the theater. There's a really good Christmas show, show with the Peanuts characters in December, which is worth seeing. I think they've done shows at other times of the years. I think there's always a show during the summer of some kind. Don't know if it's an ice show or something else.
Yeah, I think this should be a park I should visit like when it's busier or like other parts of the year. But since I went very early, that's why unfortunately there's supposed to be another roller coaster here, but they're still building it. They're still expanding this area that's known as like the Fiesta Village, I think, part of the park.
Yeah, they're redoing that whole thing right now.
Yep, I did go on Jaguar, which is okay. So
yeah, it's kind of a mild thing. Montezuma's Revenge is the one they're refurbing. That's a really old ride, a really old technology launch coaster. So glad that park didn't get rid of it, but they're kind of rehabbing and retheming it.
Big regrets.
Now this looks like a pretty wicked track here. Kurt, what can you tell us about this?
Yeah, it's Accelerator.
It was closed.
It's one of the first intimate launch coasters. Did you ride it, Daniel?
It was closed.
It was closed.
It was closed. Ah! I was pissed. I'm like, this ride looks cool. I want to go on it.
That's the first of the intimate hydraulic launch coasters.
Rip.
Yeah.
Oh well.
It's that one led to Top Thrill Dragster at Cedar Point, which sadly had an accident on it a couple years ago.
Had to sell for the Wild Mouse.
The biggest one in the world, which is King Ka at Great Adventure, New Jersey. Same manufacturer. 400 and some odd feet tall.
This is like 180.
This one's only 100 and something.
180, I think. That's what
yeah, something like that. It's a fun ride. Sure, it's really short, but it's fun.
So the Wild Mouse coaster. This is my consolation prize. It's a Wild Mouse coaster.
Pretty scary Wild Mouse. There's nothing really special about that ride.
This thing, the last thing I rode.
Yeah, the hang time.
Hang time. Whoa,
this looks cool.
That was intense. Like, look at the hill. You go straight up, just like Rip Ride Rocket, and straight down. Oh,
that looks so beautiful.
Unlike Rip Ride Rocket, you hang at the end before you go over. So you crest the top of the hill, and the car sits there for a moment. Then you go.
Yeah, like I was half regretting it on the way down, but it was fun.
It's a fun ride.
Oh, there's Ghost Rider. Better view of it. Because I wanted the Sky Tower. thingy, and I got to see a lot of good stuff at the park. At the top, yeah, like see, like up here, that's not a bank turn.
It's always interesting seeing this barrage of wood when you look at a wooden roller coaster.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so beautiful views of Anaheim and Buena Vista, and more of Hang Time, and that was my day at the park. So, yeah, just a good mixture of thrills, some stuff for the family. I wish the rides that were closed were open so I can experience them. But hey, that's the way it goes sometimes at theme parks.
Yeah, you just you didn't get to see Mystery Lodge, right?
No.
Yeah, that's too bad.
And yeah, this looks.
It is deceptively
I'm jealous.
intense. It's deceptively.
I
intense.
am jealous.
Yeah, it's a smaller ride. You know, it's nothing like Hulk. I mean, Hulk is a humongous ride.
Yeah.
They can't fit anything in quite that big, but these are fun rides in their own. So so I assume you didn't get to eat at Mrs. Knott's chicken restaurant, right?
Yeah, we did.
Oh, you did?
We did.
Oh, good.
Chicken.
All right, yeah, hold off on that because at least what the food was like, because we plan on doing another stream about food experiences in theme parks. So hold off on that one, Daniel.
Yep.
Okay.
Wait. Let me swap. This is something I found in the strip mall. It's like, what the heck? I'm getting like Five Nights at Freddy's vibes. I don't like it. I'm getting creeped out over here. But now, the grand finale. We're going to Universal Studios Hollywood once I get the actual photo up.
Yeah.
Where he actually got to try, people, Nintendo World.
Yep. So I will.
Well, it's also the original Universal Park. It's the first one, which I went to before it was actually a theme park.
So when it was just the movie studio?
It was just you had the tram tour, and there was a short live action Western stunt show, which is pretty common. And there was a couple like a snack bar and like a gift shop, and that was it.
Okay, this is taking forever, so I'm gonna stop streaming that. Share my stream. Please, Discord, don't do this to me now.
Okay, okay. Okay, well, at least fill us in here. Like, did you do the tram tour?
I sure did. That you cannot go to Universal Studios Hollywood without doing the tram tour. You just can't.
Right, it's mandatory.
Yeah, I would have been crucified if I didn't do it.
Yeah, that's the bucket list.
So did you realize how long it was going to be?
No, it was long. It was like 45, 50 minutes almost.
Yeah, it's almost an hour.
Oh, jeez, Discord.
Is it really?
It's nothing like a tram tour that they had at Disney.
Hold on, I think I got it. Screen share. Yes, finally.
Okay, yes, let's see this. Yeah, because I don't know a whole lot about the tram tour. I know that there are sections of it that got turned into full-length rides at Universal Orlando, but that's it. Like
because it's mostly due to Universal being cheap, but yeah.
Velocicoaster rep all day. Let's go.
That's right. That's how you roll.
Yeah. Like I got my original. This is the original Universal Jurassic Park shirt.
And they are celebrating their 30th anniversary.
This is the Hollywood version.
Nice.
When the ride first opened.
All right, so we got to see the opening plaza here. So this is actually a real production board where they're filming in different sound stages. So
now, was it currently in use, or was it just like a prop to show off?
No, it's in use. They update this every day.
No way.
This is live. This is like they're making this as you're walking through the park.
Oh, that is so cool.
Yep. So yep, just stopped a little bit in Springfield.
Wait a minute. This actually looks like the set to the Good Place, a show that I just got done watching on Netflix. But no, it's The Simpsons.
Mm-hmm.
Their layout looks different than ours.
I actually prefer the facades here in Hollywood than the one in Orlando. Like, they have, things that happen. Like, they have the nuclear reactor plant goes off every so often. It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Right, but that's all upper lot because this park is separated in two big halves. Your upper lot and then the lower lot. So we start in the lower lot we went right to Jurassic World. So it's basically the reskin of Jurassic Park River Adventure here in Orlando, and
Which I'm hoping we'll get.
it's good. Like it's clearly a nice, much needed refurb of the experience. Seeing the Indominus Rex move its head a couple times was neat. The ending scene was great. They did more stuff with the lift hill. The Mosasaurus scene is really, really well done, and you actually get like water thrown out. It's like, yeah, Universal, they're nailing it with these Jurassic World rides, especially the one in Beijing. If you took a look at that one's like, man, I wish we had that here. It's so good.
Yeah, you get chased by the Indominus Rex.
Mm-hmm. So, what were your thoughts on this attraction?
Yeah,
I like it. Yeah, I've ridden it. I think it's better than the Florida version now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, I get the Jurassic World movies are kind of, but the first one is passable. Well, like, you can enjoy that one.
Yeah, I rewatch it. I think that's a fun experience.
It's definitely a good ride.
Ah, yes.
There it is.
Super
the
Nintendo.
warp pipe.
Yeah, for this I have to show you a video because the just screenshots won't do it justice. This place is alive. This place will set and has set the standard for theme park lands. I do not say that lightly. I think, actually, no. Let me get this video out.
All right, here we
Get my cringy voice out there. I'm just kidding. Where is... Swapping over to Discord one more time. Yeah, might be the last time I switch to video because Discord's being really unhappy with me.
You're making it work too hard.
I am. My memory is still doing pretty good, so I'm not sure what the heck's going on.
Yeah, it's interesting to watch Universal Hollywood evolve over the decades. It's changed so much from what it originally was. It's really something to think that there was really nothing there except the tram tour and a stunt show in the '60s.
Right.
To what it's evolved to now. The whole lower lot that didn't used to be part of the park, right? That was all working movie studio. And just as the park grew and got bigger, because up on the top of the hillside, there's no place to put anything because you're on top of a hill. So the only place to put it was down on their land below the hill. That's where the lower lot got born. Those enormous escalators.
Oh my goodness! I don't know why it's now not working for me. That's unfortunate.
Well, that's fine. Just stick with the photos.
Yeah. Let's see. So actually, I'm gonna turn off my camera and then I'm gonna share my screen. Maybe that will help it.
Yeah, just stick with the photos, dude.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
But, well, let's just go ahead and just talk about what you saw with Super Mario World. Obviously, you did the main attraction there, the ride.
Yes, I did.
Yes, tell us about the queue and the ride itself.
The queue was like my childhood dream right there. Was walking through every single reference you can think of, everywhere you look. There's not a single thing that's unthemed. It is marvelous. Like all the video game references, the small things that move in the background, the little secrets you can find, the real life like banter you see between Mario and Bowser. It's great. And the pre-show videos, like the cast members in there, even though the video itself, the show itself is not impressive, the cast members in there, they're like, yeah, who's on Team Mario, Team Luigi? You're all excited, and they get the crowd pumped up. They know what they were doing. They knew exactly what they were doing. Uh-oh. Actually, hold on. Discord crashed. I'm so sorry. Oh my god. I'm back.
You okay there, buddy?
Oh, geez. I think I crashed. Did you hear anything?
No.
You were just kind of talking. Yeah, you were talking about the banter though between Mario and the other characters.
Yeah. All right, so let me actually pop this out again. Okay, we're back. Let me get my camera back on.
Are we still streaming?
We have not cut. We have not stopped the episode. We're good. Discord just had a brain fart, and I got my video backs. Oh, not video back. My video back.
All right. Well, go ahead. Press play then.
No. We're good. We're still live. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So so the queue was excellent. Well air conditioned. Well, it moved pretty quickly. So even though posted times may say like 2 hours, I think total wait time was maybe closer to an hour, half that. So pretty efficient. The actual visors you wear over your head, I think I got pictures of that in here. So
now, how exactly does this work? Like, how do you fire at the enemies or the other racers? I should say.
Let me give you, instead of just me talking about the queue here, let me just give you some pictures of the queue. So, yep. So everywhere you look, just
peaches. Oh, peaches! I want that song to be played in the queue.
they really should. They even give you the literal actual course from the game in here. It's nice. And just references in the books. You have a boo pops out, greets you. Just stuff you used to see right outside the queue window. Dioramas, like in this style, Paper Mario.
Oh, wow.
It's like I said, it's just a big dream come true for Nintendo fans.
That looks awesome.
I took way too many pictures. Way too many pictures. Yeah, and you see how the I forget what you call them. I don't want to call them badniks. That's freaking Sonic fan. No, just the Koopa Troops and the robots.
The Goombas, yeah.
Yeah, just the general baddies, how they get made. There's my boy. I race with them a lot in the game. Team Mario. Yep, so here's the pre-show room. You go in, you see how to play the game. So how the game works, let me get to that. So the game, since you're wearing the visor, you have to get 100 coins per person in the vehicle. And actually, no. Yeah, to win the game, you need an aggregate total of 100 per person. So you need 400 coins total to beat Bowser. The way you get coins, so on this screen it tells you how to play the game. When you see an arrow that appears on your screen, go left, you steer left, right, you steer right. You get 3 coins each time you do that. And then you literally see the boxes from the game to pick up shells. And they give you a limited amount of shells to work with. On top of the wheel, there's 2 triggers. So you have to press them down at the same time. Not one, it has to be pew, pew, pew. So down at the same time. And wherever you're looking, it's pretty dang accurate, you will fire. So if you'll see you'll see some character flying on in. So you just kind of turn your head, they'll center it, and once they're centered right here, you press, you fire, you hit them. You need 3 shell hits to take them out, and you get coins like that. You don't get penalized from hitting your teammates, I think, but it does tell you don't hit your teammates. That's a bad idea. So that's the visors we wore. You have that, and then in the car itself, you pick up from the front, and it clips on to the underside of the Mario cap. It's very hard to see right here, but that's basically what it looked like.
Now, how effective though was the illusion though? Because obviously, Mario Kart's a very high-speed game, but this is not a high-speed ride.
Yeah, the sense of speed is not what I hope, but the immersion and the clarity of the AR is top-notch. Like, it blends in well with the environment. Like, there's different enemies that appear on screen, and it doesn't obstruct your vision of the practical sets in there. And there's many of them that you'll go through, from the mansion to a sewer to Bowser's castle. Like any area you can think of in the games, it's there. And yeah, like I think the effects are really well done. I think it's very responsive. Although if you're not the actual mechanics of the game is kind of confusing to get at first. But that just encourages replayability. You go back in, let me do this next time. There's this little thing you have to hit up here, hit it, and you'll trigger something else. And there's just so much that goes on. Some people would nag on it for being a little bit too chaotic, but for me, Being a gamer again, the gamer bias, like I loved it. Like it was stimulation done right. I think you guys will enjoy it a lot. I want to see more of this. I think the AR tech is nice. So that was my 2 cents on the cart.
Good. Sounds good.
It's really good. It's very good.
Yeah, I can't wait to try it.
I just
Only
wish
we're going to get out.
they had room for more rides at Universal Hollywood. That's the only thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but we're getting Donkey Kong here, so that's going to be a very unique roller coaster. But yeah, that was Super Nintendo World in general.
Yeah. Now, I saw there you did the Mummy ride there as well, the roller coaster.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, because that's different from the one we have down here.
It's actually quite different. Yes. I think as I mentioned to you guys, but story and overall theming, I'll give it to the Orlando version. The actual coaster, I think California nails it better than Orlando.
Oh, really?
Yes, because there's an entire section where you go entirely backwards, fast speed.
Yeah.
So I think
That's not that long. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but I enjoyed it. I think that was really fun. Just the sensation of going backwards at high speed around the bank turns. It was really good. Mummy here is good. Mummy what we have here is good. Is great. I think the superior version, but they did a good job here.
Okay, now you did do the tram tour, as you said, and did you actually visit any sets, or was it just like those little sections of various rides?
I can get to it. So let me just skim past like all this stuff. So the Kung Fu Panda Theater.
Oh, that's really good. I like that ride.
Yeah, the show's pretty good. I like the effects. It's
Now is that like a is that like a 3D attraction?
yes.
No, believe it or not, it's not. It's not. You don't need 3D glasses, but it almost has the feel of 3D. It's just
Really?
projection maps throughout the whole theater.
Mm-hmm.
It's really cool.
Yeah, the seats do move. It's not as janky as Shrek was, so certainly a very worthy replacement. I'll get to the tram tour, but I'm just kind of going through the photos.
Yeah, the Secret World of Pets. I remember that was rumored to become to Orlando for some time, but I honestly don't think it is at this point.
Yeah, very good dark ride. Very well. Yeah. The effects are great. It's super cute. And just tells a very complete, wholesome story. Just you're trying to be a puppy that wants to be adopted. It's beautiful. it's touching. I love it.
It's very well done. It's really good use of. There's actually sets and practical effects and animatronics, and there's also screens. Really good screens.
Yep. Waterworld. Yes, this show.
Yeah. Yes, I've been wanting to see this show.
Still there.
God, like the effects are cool, but man, the dialogue is so campy.
Yeah.
Now, did they?
What's up?
Now, go ahead, Kurt.
No, I said the movie is just so dated. I mean, that movie was a long time ago.
Now, did they launch the plane? Because I know if it gets too windy, they won't do it.
They did. But you got that cool effect.
Yes.
That was the highlight of the show.
That is cool. That is cool.
And yeah, the guy just having fun with like water guns, squirting people. You may get wet. I'm just saying, whoosh, you might get wet. Yeah, like the very cool water effects. They used to have a show, like a ski show here in Universal Orlando a while back. Now they don't anymore, but yeah, it was very cool to watch in person. Like,
yeah, Waterworld is one of those movies where, like, it's kind of like The Nightmare Before Christmas. There's reasons to like it. There's some things that are so cool to watch, but then the rest of the movie chimes in like, oh yeah, this is part of the film too, not just the cool stuff.
Yeah, the whole premise of the movie is stupid.
That's an actual animatronic. It talks to you.
Yeah.
Yep. So pets. Yep. Yeah. This is sad to me because he's trying to reach the ice cream cone, but he can't because he's tied around.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fireworks
Dogs
factory.
seem to understand that.
Yep. So you got a little glimpse of the ride. Little dog wash at the end. Hooray, you're adopted. And it's over. City tour. Lots of pictures. Another huge highlight. He had a great. That's our tour guide, so you get to see a little bit of them. And my parents, this was their highlight of the day. Mine was Super Nintendo World in this, but yeah, very very fun. So the tour, it will take you through the front lot, the back lot, and small segments from classic movies as you'll see it through the tour. So some of the sound stages that they use here,
They look like aircraft hangars.
they're huge. They gotta be for some movies. Illumination, of course, they get their steak here. Yeah,
Base camp.
I think this is like where some of the actors and producers eat. There's some housing that people have here, like they live on set.
Oh, no kidding. I thought those were just set pieces.
Well,
Nope,
yeah,
that's housing.
those are the old bungalows from the old days of the movies.
Mhm.
I think they're offices now.
Yeah, okay, maybe they don't live there, but yeah, there's people in them. So more of the sound stages, more modern ones compared to the older ones we just saw. Some of the facades you'll see. There it is. Hello, Hill Valley set, the ever famous Back to the Future set right here.
The
Yep.
theme is playing in my head right now.
Oh yeah, this is where the magic happened. It may not look exactly like the
man.
movie, but you can tell the facade is right here. It is
Yeah,
right here.
of course, this is the rebuilt version. They had that huge fire
They told us
about
about that.
like 15, 20 years ago that leveled this place.
I am curious where they put like the big pond, because I don't see a pond here, like in some shots. But you know, probably like movie magic, getting that in. But yeah, it's the same set. It's awesome.
Wow.
Streets of New York, I think, or just generic stuff. So yeah,
It looks convincing.
yeah, you have to make it as blank as possible so you can repaint it or put your sign on top of it and make it look, yeah, make it look whatever you want it to be. And then it'll take you through a whole bunch of cars, famous cars. So you got your Magnum PI car, obviously Biff's car
Oh,
right
wow.
here. Yep, a lot of Back to the Future cars, the original prop cars that were used.
Are the Fast and the Furious cars there too?
Yep, Flintstones. Hey, there we go. Tokyo Drift.
Harry Potter! Too Fast, Too Furious.
Yep.
And
Well-
Guess waiting at the end of this tour too. So
Yep, that's cool. Little.
oh man, that's all these came from the movies. That is fucking cool.
Yep, that's the same cage from Lost World. Remember that? Jurassic Park.
Yeah, that's
Yep, and that's
That
the
movie
famous
actually-
Jeep where the two T-Rexes came in for their son, their baby T-Rex.
that movie wasn't that bad. Like yeah, I can understand it was a letdown, but there was in there to enjoy it.
It would have been as good as the first if they were not cowards and took the themes from the book, which was way darker than what we got in the movie. But whatever. Yeah, that's look at these sets. Crazy.
Oh man, that looks so cool.
Yep, and statuette. So obviously the dinos are CG, but I'm sure like for shooting they have this right here. They can edit it out. So right. So this is where you're supposed to be facing. Be scared of. There you go. Be scared of it. So this is one of the live action scenes that you'll go into. And this place is like a Spanish Mexican town, and they'll say this is how it rains.
Yeah, I know that like there's a flood that's supposed to happen on this set.
Yeah, it's in the video.
It starts raining.
Yep, I have like it's in the video, so I show that scene in here. So more Western facades that were really well done. Just yep, a lot of famous Western shot there. These are the streets in I don't know where the town is, but where Frankenstein. That's where the movie part of it was shot. Like this whole area.
Wow.
Yeah, so the OG Frankenstein and maybe Dracula or like whatever European street you need here. It was shot here. Yeah, train station, earthquake. Hello, my old friend. Yep. Same.
Hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to quake with you again.
Still as good as I remember it, so I miss it. Fun attraction. More facades. Amity Island. Hello.
Yeah.
Oh, Jaws. I miss you.
Yes. So neighborhoods, the Bates Motel, the OG. Well, it did burn down, I think.
Yeah, it's rebuilt, but they rebuilt it the way it was. Fortunately.
Yeah, that's.
At least we
So
got that. Yeah.
You have a picture of Norman?
No. This was the most impressive thing I saw in the tour. This was from War of the Worlds.
Oh yeah, plane crash.
The plane crash. An actual Boeing 747 snapped in half and used just for 4 minutes of film time in the movie.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Spielberg is a madman.
Yeah. He bought a 747 and ripped it apart.
Yep. And this is from the recent movie Nope. So,
oh yeah, that's right.
So I'm surprised. I was like, oh god, it's the balloon. It's the famous balloon. It's right there in the movie. And the well at the end of the movie. Yes. Yes, and Star Lasso, and it's so cool. And I didn't take footage of it, but it did take you through the King Kong experience as well as Fast and Furious Supercharge.
Oh, fast. Like, okay, with that being my guilty pleasure, how would you compare our Fast and Furious to theirs on this tram tour?
Maybe a little bit better on the tram tour because the effects actually worked. Like you actually had the nitrous boost and effect, and yeah, I don't know.
And it's in 3D too, right?
Yeah, they give you 3D glasses.
Yeah. Oh man, I gotta get out there at some point. Hopefully next year.
Yep, and that's pretty much it. It's just Super Nintendo World at night. I rode this ride again. Team Bowser still won, so that's why I had to give in and get the pin here. So yay.
Well, okay. Best ride, worst ride, counting all the parks.
Oh man, of all 4 parks, you're making me think right here. Best ride. I really want to say Indy. I really want to say it, but it's like,
that definitely seems to be a spectacle.
Yeah. All right. I think Indy is a safe bet for winner. Best overall ride experience that I had over there. As far as the worst, disappointing one. That's also very hard to say. I mean, I'll say a unique ride because it'll be easy for me to say like Little Mermaid or something like that. But worst ride I did not like. Well, I won't go with the Disneyland version there either. I don't know. It's really hard to say. Like there was something I liked from every single ride there.
So even like Monsters Incorporated.
Okay, that can be the worst then, because it's just the movie attached.
There we go. Then
Monsters just by unfortunate proximity in the rules I've set for my list.
It's a good presentation of the ride, but it's probably the weakest as far as technology and stuff goes.
It's the most skippable.
Yeah. There's not. I mean, there's a pre-recorded soundtrack, and there's a lot of static figures. There's a few that, just move mechanically. They're not really true animatronics. So.
Yep. So that's pretty much it for me.
Dude, it sounds like you had a blast with this trip. I am so jealous of you. And like I said at the beginning of this, now you got to go up to Northern California and check out the parks there. California's Great Adventure, the Santa Cruz Boardwalk, and what was the other?
It's California's Great America.
Yeah.
Six Flags Discovery Kingdom and Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk.
There's some really good coasters over there.
And even as an alternative attraction, I would suggest the Mystery House.
Yeah. Like my parents wanted to do that, but when they realized where it was, like, oh, we can't fit in our schedule. Rip.
Yeah.
All right.
And don't forget, you still got to do Magic Mountain down in LA. You haven't been there yet.
That is true. Yeah, more coasters and experiences there too.
You got to go back.
All right, that's gonna wrap things up here. He had a blast. We cannot wait. Nintendo here in Florida, and our next live stream is going to be one that Kurt suggested about the different types of restaurant themes and how'd you phrase it, Kurt?
Best and worst food experiences at a theme park.
Oh boy.
Yes, everybody loves food. I'm a fatty. I know.
That's right.
Trust me.
Food is good.
Yes.
Yes, it is.
And when you're at a theme park, you got to make the experience and not just the food good. So we're going to be discussing that next time here on Park Geeks. Until next time, take care, fellow park enthusiasts.